Alrighty guys, welcome to the video here today for Thursday, August 4th, 2022. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my daily personal sports bet for just $1.99 on my website. It's a game that I'm actually betting on personally, the game that I actually have my personal action on. And the link for that play is in the description section below. And if you want to check out my current sports betting record, you can do that for free right now by going to the homepage of my website. It won't cost you anything just to look at my record. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Brewers squaring off against the Pirates, 12:35 Eastern first pitch. Milwaukee's the $2.50 favorite, totals 8 runs. Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee, Zach Thompson for Pittsburgh. Now, there is a good chance that Thompson could get shelled here today. He comes into this contest with a 3-8 record and an ERA in the 5s. The Pirates have also had a real tough time at the plate this year. They're second to last in the bigs in team batting average, and they're also scoring only 3.7 runs a game for the whole year. They also have to face Brandon Woodruff here today for Milwaukee, who's 9-3 on the year with a 1.14 whip. And even if Woodruff has a bit of a rocky outing here today, the Brewers do have the ability to score a lot of runs offensively. They're in the top 5 in homers, top 10 in scoring. Willy Adames leads the club in home runs with 21 of them. Meanwhile, Rowdy Tellez has a team-leading 68 RBI. Now, when it comes to the total, 7 out of Milwaukee's last 10 got over the line. They're also averaging nearly 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, the Pirates saw 5 out of their last 8 at PNC Park get over the number. I'm going to lean toward the Brewers, -1.5 in the over 8. Next game, Cubs-Cards, game 1. That's going to be a 1:15 Eastern first pitch. St. Louis is -165, total 7.5. Miles Mikolas for St. Louis, Marcus Stroman for Chicago. And even though Stroman's had several strong outings, the Cubbies just can't get the W for him. The righty's just 3-5 on the year, and the Cubbies currently find themselves on a 3-game skid. Matter of fact, out of those 3 losses I just mentioned, Chicago's been shut out twice. Now, these cold Chicago bats are going to have to face Miles Mikolas here today, who's got a 2.86 ERA and a .99 whip. Now, the Cards have also won 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they scored 5 runs or more in all of those contests. Paul Goldschmidt's hitting a league-best .332 at the plate. He's also in the top 5 in RBI and OPS. When it comes to the total, St. Louis is 13-7 to the over in their last 20 divisional home games. They've also averaged 5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Chicago. I'm going to lead toward the Cardinals, -165 in the over 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Dodgers-Giants, 3:45 East. The LA Dodgers are -210, totals 8 runs. Clayton Kershaw for Los Angeles, Jacob Junis for San Francisco. And even though Junis has looked real good, the Giants really aren't playing great team baseball. These guys are currently on a 3-game skid, with all 3 of those losses coming to the Dodgers in this very series. They also dropped 7 out of their last 10, and they're having a real tough time getting on base. Matter of fact, the Giants are currently in the bottom 10 in team batting average. They're also facing Clayton Kershaw, who's 7-3 with an ERA in the 2s. Now, the lefty also has 84 strikeouts in just 81-plus innings, along with a .98 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, there's really not many teams out there who can do it like the Dodgers. They're currently first in the National League in scoring, first in the entire league in OPS. Freddie Freeman's 7th in the bigs with a .934 OPS. He's also in the top 10 in batting average and RBI. Meanwhile, teammate Mookie Betts, he's the team leader in homers. He's got 24 bombs on the year. Now, when it comes to the number, 4 out of Kershaw's last 7 starts actually did get over the posted total. Meanwhile, the Giants saw 5 out of their last 7 Jake Junis starts get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers -1.5 in the over 8. Next matchup, A's Angels 407 East. The LA Angels are the $1.15 favorite. Totals 8 runs. Jansen Junk for Los Angeles. Paul Blackburn for Oakland. Now, Paulie comes into today's ballgame with a lackluster 6-6 record, along with an ERA in the 4s. And even if he shows up here today, there's really not many teams out there who hit worse than Oakland. They're currently dead last in the majors in team batting average, and they're also scoring less than 3.5 runs a game. They're also taking on Jansen Junk, who actually looked real solid in his season debut last week. Not only did the Junkster get the W, he struck out 9 batters in just 6 innings, and he allowed 0 earned runs. Meanwhile, offensively, Shohei Ohtani is the team leader in RBI. Sho's got 62 ribbies on the season. Meanwhile, outfielder Taylor Ward, he's leading the franchise in batting average. Now, total-wise, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings fell under the number, so if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. The Angels also went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. Meanwhile, Oakland, on the other side of things, they saw 4 out of their last 5 road games fall under the posted total as well. I'm going to lean toward the LA Angels -115 in the under 8. Next contest, it is going to be Rockies Padres, 4:10 p.m. East. San Diego's -310, total 7.5. Joe Musgrove for San Diego, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now, Freeland comes into today's ball game with a losing record and a .463 ERA. Now, the Rockies have also dropped their last 5 straight, and they're also amongst the worst road scoring teams in the league. They're taking on Joe Musgrove here today, who's actually gotten a record of 8-4 on the year, along with an ERA in the 2s. Now, Joe's got 114 strikeouts and a .99 whip. And even if Joe struggles, the Pods are red hot right now. They won their last 5 straight, and they scored 32 total runs in the process. Sorry, I just got a text from a buddy playing some golf today, and I had mentioned that, it's just 3 of us playing, so I said we should go, some 3-way skins action, and he just said, 3-way skins action sounds hot. So anyway, that's why I'm chuckling. But anyway, what are we talking about here? The Pods, they're red hot. They won their last 5 straight, and they scored 32 total runs in the process. Manny Machado's leading the club in batting average, home runs, and RBI. The Sluggers hitting nearly 300 at the dish, along with 59 runs batted in. And when it comes to the total, the Pods are 60% to the under in their divisional home games. Meanwhile, Colorado saw 7 out of their last 10 ball games fall under the line themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Diego -1.5. And the under 7.5 in that tight window. All right, next ball game, big night for Phillies fans. I'm talking about the Nats taking on the Phils, 7:05 East. Philadelphia is -195, totals 8.5. The reason why it's a big night, it's Noah Syndergaard making his debut for Philadelphia. Paolo Espino for the Nats. And out of 66 2/3 innings pitched, Espino has yet to get his first win of the season. Espino's 0-3 on the year. The Nats are now 34 games below 500. Now, when it comes to offensive production, or lack thereof, Washington's nearly dead last in the majors in home runs. They're taking on Noah Syndergaard, who makes his return to the NL East here today. He comes into today's game with a .383 ERA and a 1.21 whip. And, of course, that was with a pretty bad Angels team. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to team baseball here for Philadelphia, the Phils have won 7 out of their last 9. And they average just about 5.5 runs a game in those victories. Now, Kyle Schwarber's the club leader in home runs. He's got 33 homers on the year, which leads the National League. Meanwhile, Alec Boehm leads the team in batting average. He's hitting just about 300 at the dish. Now, total-wise, the Fightin' saw 3 out of their last 4 at Citizens Bank Park get over the number. Meanwhile, the Nats are 28-21 to the over when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the Phillies, -1.5, and the over 8.5. Next game, Astros Guardians, 7:10 p.m. East. Houston's -185, totals 8. Justin Verlander for Houston, Zach Plesac for Cleveland. And out of 104 innings of work this year, Zach Plesac has just 2 wins. The righty's currently got an ERA in the 4s along with a 2-9 record. The Guardians have also really struggled to produce runs against Houston. Out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings, the Guardians are averaging less than 3.2 runs a game. They're also facing Justin Verlander here today, who's a staggering 14-3 on the year with a 1.81 ERA. And no real surprise here, guys, Verlander's got 112 strikeouts and a .87 whip. Now, when it comes to offensive production, the Stros are hitting more homers per game than most teams in the American League. They're actually in the top 3 in the entire big leagues right now in home runs per contest. Yordan Alvarez has a team best 30 round trippers on the season. He also leads the bigs with a 1.063 OPS. Now, total-wise, the Stros did see 6 out of their last 10 ball games fall under the number. Houston's also 67% to the under in all of their road games. I'm going to lean toward Houston, -1.5, and the under 8. Next ball game, Braves, Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are -120, totals 8 runs. Carlos Carrasco for New York, Kyle Wright for Atlanta. And even though Wright's been outstanding this year for the Braves, well, Atlanta's struggled a bit getting on base away from home. These guys are in the bottom 10 in road hits per contest. They're also striking out more times a game on the road than most clubs in the National League right now. They're taking on Carlos Carrasco here today for New York, and he's been solid. The righty's 11-4 with an ERA in the 3s, along with 108 Ks. Now, the Mets can also really pound the baseball. They're in the top 5 in scoring, top 5 in team batting average. Jeff McNeil's batting a team best .302 at the plate. Meanwhile, Pete Alonso's the club leader in homers and RBI. Now, Alonso's 88 ribbies actually lead the National League right now. When it comes to the scoring, 5 out of Atlanta's last 6 ball games where Kyle Wright made the start fell under the number. I'm going to lean toward the Mets, -120, and the under 8 runs. Next matchup, Rays, Tigers, 7:10 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's -175, totals 8 runs. Jeffrey Springs for Tampa Bay. Drew Hutchison for Detroit. Now, Drew's got just 1 win on the season, along with a .453 ERA. And even if Hutch pitches well, the Tigers have arguably the worst hitting lineup in all of baseball. They're dead last in runs per contest, dead last in OPS. They're also facing Jeffrey Springs, who's got a .270 ERA and a 1.12 whip. And that really should come as no surprise here. This Tampa Bay pitching staff has been the strength of this organization this season. They're currently in the top 10 in fewest hits allowed. And they're actually giving up less than 4 runs a game for the entire year. Now, when it comes to the total, Tampa Bay went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. They also held Detroit to just 3.7 runs a game in their last 10 meetings. Now, the Tigers, on the other side, they went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay, -1.5, and the under 8. Next contest, it is going to be Blue Jays Twins, 7:40 p.m. East. Toronto's -1.25, totals 8 runs. Alek Manoah for Toronto, Sonny Gray for Minnesota. And even though Sonny's having a real good year, the Twins as a team, they've dropped 5 out of their last 8. Now, they're also going up against Alek Manoah here today for Toronto. And Manoah's been real tough to hit against. The righties 11-5 with an ERA of 2.43. Now Manoah's also got 114 strikeouts and a sub-1 whip. Now hitting-wise, well, there really aren't many lineups out there who do it better than Toronto. These guys are averaging just about 5 runs a game for the entire year, and they're leading the bigs right now in team batting average. Lourdes Gurriel, he's hitting a team-best .311 at the plate. He's actually in the top 10 in the majors in that batting average category. Meanwhile, Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's leading the club in home runs and runs batted in. Now, when it comes to the number, Toronto did go 8-2 to the under in their last 10 ball games. Meanwhile, Minnesota saw their last 3 straight at Target Field fall under the total. I'm going to lean toward Toronto minus $1.25 in the under 8. Next ball game, Cubs, Cards, game 2. That'll be a 7:45 Eastern start time. Game 2 is currently off the board. Jose Quintana for St. Louis. No confirmed starter yet for Chicago. But regardless of who starts for the Cubbies, once again, these guys have dropped 4 out of their last 5. And they were shut out twice during that span. Now they're going up against Jose Quintana here today, who's got a 3.50 ERA, and of course, that was with a bad Pirates organization. Now, the Cards have also gotten the W in 4 out of their last 5. They currently find themselves in the top 10 in the majors in team OPS. Of course, when it comes to hitting the baseball, they're also striking out fewer times a game than most clubs in the National League. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the Cards winning game 2 outright for some money line cash. Next game, it is going to be White Sox taking on the Rangers. That's going to be an 8:05 Eastern first pitch. The Chicago White Sox are minus $1.25, totals 8.5. Johnny Cueto for Chicago. Cole Reagans making his debut here for Texas. Now, Reagan's first start really couldn't come at a worse time. The Rangers have lost 7 out of their last 10. And they're winning only 42% of their contests at Globe Life Field. Now, Texas has struggled making contact with the baseball at the plate. They're currently in the bottom 10 right now in strikeouts per 9. They're also facing Johnny Cueto on the other side here for Chicago, who's got himself a 1.17 whip, along with an ERA in the 2s. And even if for some reason Johnny doesn't bring his good stuff here today, there's really not many teams out there who are getting on base more than the Chi Sox here. These guys always on base, always have base runners. They're actually in the top 3 in the league right now in team batting average. And of course, they're led by Tim Anderson, who's hitting .313 at the plate. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Chicago's last 10 outings did fall under the number. They also held Texas to just 3.8 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with each other. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the White Sox minus $1.25 and the under 8.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It is going to be Red Sox taking on the Royals, and that's going to be an 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Boston's minus 130, totals 9. Nick Pivetta for Boston, Chris Bubich for Kansas City. Now, Boobies has had a real tough go of things this season. Out of 74-plus innings, the lefty's got just 2 wins. He also boasts a 1.60 whip, along with an ERA in the 5s. And even if Boobs pitches well here today, he may not get the run support he needs to get the W. KC's in the bottom 5 in scoring, and they're hitting fewer home runs a game than most clubs in the American League. They're also facing Nick Pivetta, who's got 8 wins along with 114 strikeouts. Now, the Bo Sox have had little problem scoring runs against Kansas City. Out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings, the Sox are averaging nearly 6.5 runs a game. Now, Rafael Devers is still batting a team-leading .322 at the plate. He's also in the top 5 in the bigs in OPS. Meanwhile, Trevor Story, he has a team-best 58 runs batted in. When it comes to the total, Boston did see their last 3 straight on the road fall under the number. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Kansas City saw their last 3 straight at Kauffman Stadium fall under the line. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Boston minus $1.30 and the under 9 runs. But that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap for Thursday, August 4th, 2022. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Milwaukee minus 1.5 over 8 runs. Give me St. Louis minus 165 over 7.5 in Game 1. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 over 8 runs. I like the Angels minus $1.15 under 8. Give me San Diego minus 1.5 under 7.5. I like Philadelphia minus 1.5 over 8.5 runs. Give me Houston minus 1.5 under 8. I like the Mets minus $1.20 under 8 runs. Give me Tampa Bay minus 1.5 under 8. I like Toronto minus $1.25 under 8 runs. I like St. Louis winning Game 2 outright for some money line cash. I also like the White Sox minus $1.25 under 8.5. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, guys, if you want to see which one of these free picks here on this video that I'm actually betting on personally, you can do that. It's called my $1.99 daily best play, and I sell it on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Boston minus 130 and the under 9. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way until September 1st. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.